Now live, the August 7th, 2015 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi. So we had a little pre-conversation going on with Yvette. She's all excited. You want to tell us about it, Yvette?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it again. Just yesterday, I had a 3-hour training session. The client just started a company, and they were looking for someone that would also consult them on what type of accounting platform they can use for the type of business that they have. They just started it in the middle of the year, so they're fairly new. They don't have a whole lot going on. They're more of a consulting business. And so they called me, and I suggested to them, what to count. And they wanted something that they could access anywhere because they travel all over the world. And so I recommended either Xero or QuickBooks Online. And so then at that point, they wanted to book me for, I said 2 hours. All they needed is 2 hours training because they didn't have too much. But they wanted 3 hours, and I also set them up for what I recommended too was that they needed Zen, some kind of payroll because they were an S corp. So I recommended Zen Payroll because we ended up going with Xero for their accounting platform, and I know that Xero integrates pretty well with, Zen Payroll integrates pretty well with Xero. So they booked me for the 3 hours. They wanted to meet in person. I didn't really want anybody coming to my home for one of the reasons is that I'm going through major remodeling right now in my home, and so there's a lot of noise here. So I went looking on the internet, scrambling to find office space that I could rent by the hour, and I found this awesome place. It's brand new, very modern, futuristic, for $19 per hour for an office space that fits 3 to 4 people. And I set up an account with them. My credit card came. They told me they show you what room you can get on the internet, and I had a couple choices. I chose it, and next day I went in. I sent my clients a confirmation letter saying that we're going to meet. This is our time, and this is the office number. So they met me there, and it was really. I said I could do this more often. It was really great, and I made good money. So. And my clients were happy. I got them all started. Everything went smooth. Had no problems.
Nice, nice. So you're actually doing their books virtually, but you wanted to do the first meeting in person.
Actually, they're going to be doing their own books. I think they're going to carry on being their books. They just needed someone to set them up and train them how to do it.
Oh, okay. And how far did they travel to come see you?
Well, they live actually in my kind of close to me, not too far. But they were coming from, another city because that person works somewhere, part-time somewhere. So anyways, but they didn't come too far to meet me.
Okay, okay.
But I just thought it was great because I never thought about renting office space like that, on the fly, and I loved it. I thought, heck, man, I could do this again.
Worked out real well for you.
Really well.
Nice.
And it got me out of my office here at home.
I wonder if Xero has training curriculum like QuickBooks. They have their PowerPoints for training clients.
I don't know. When I got back in later on, I put that on my to-do list because I want to hone in even on QuickBooks. Hone in on my training because I really, I did the figures, and a lot of times I do get clients that want that kind of training, and I would turn them down because I thought, no, I don't want to do that. But after yesterday, I thought, heck, this was so easy, and they were pretty happy. They were like, this is great. I'm so glad that you did this for us, and we don't have to set up. And I told them, you can call me anytime. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. I can help you.
Or you could put them in your CRM, and whenever there's an update to Xero that you might offer, like Seth would do, or create a little video on the.
Or a refresher, yeah. Offer them the refresher course.
And the other thing that was nice is I talked to Justin the last week and my rep from Xero, and I told him, look, this is going to be going on next week. And he says, hey, I could be available from 2 to 3 because their appointment was from 1 to 4. And so I said, great. So he goes, I'll be on standby if you need anything. And also, I called my Zen payroll people too. I have my rep, and she wasn't going to be in that day, but she's hooked me up with somebody. And there was just a little question I had, and they helped me right through it. It was seamless. So I can't wait to do another one again.
Nice, nice. Congratulations. I'm so happy it went well for you. Those are the kind of consults that I always enjoyed, especially when it goes really well and the people are happy and, you're doing them a service too, actually. And you're doing their accountant a service.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Nice. Anybody else have any good experiences they want to share from this week?
I had an interesting experience yesterday. I have a client that's on QBO and invited me to share his file.
Yes.
So I responded, and then when I went to open it up, I looked in both of my QBO sign-ons.
Yes.
And neither one has it. And when I tried to resend the message, it said that it's already been sent. So that kind of illustrates.
Didn't you get it from the email? I thought you were supposed to click on a link.
I did, and then it never went anywhere. It didn't seem like it. So oddly enough, I've got at least 2 sign-ons with QBO. One is with ITO, and so I have one client with QBO and ITO, and then another couple clients on the old QuickBooks login. And so I tried that one. I couldn't see the file, and then I went to the ITO one. I couldn't see the file, so I don't know where the heck the invitation went.
You'll have to contact support.
Yeah, I hate doing that. It's like
you got to have a root canal.
That's kind of why I don't use QBO. It's just.
Gina, I have a. Remember how you and I were talking, kind of about the recertification course?
Yes.
Well, did you ever get an email from the escalations unit through ABO?
Yes, I did.
Did you get it resolved?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so did I. So you know what the answer was for me, and this is kind of stupid for me, but I wanted to share it in case somebody else comes across this, is that I was told inside of ABO, I can't remember by who, but they were like, there are 2 tests. There's a regular test for the full 2015 course. Certification, and then there's also a recertification. Well, when you look in your course locker, especially even the new course locker that's inside of QuickBooks Online, there's just one thing that says 2015 desktop. You have to click that button to test, and if you are available to do the recertification, it automatically kicks you into the recertification test.
Right. It's supposed to.
Right. But see what happened. Oh, see, I didn't know that because before when I was clicking it, I was getting nothing.
Right.
And
exactly.
and then I think it was Stacy or somebody was telling me, no, there's an actual choice for recertification, and I never saw it. So this guy going back and forth, he was really, I think it was Tony, somebody that was in the escalation unit. He was like, do this, try closing out, and then retry it again and let me know if you see it. And I'm like, I still don't see it. And he's like, well, click the test button. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't know to do that.
Right.
So I said, could you please put a note in your people to tell, you need to tell the advisors that they need to actually click that thing that says the full test.
Right.
And then you'll get the recertification if you apply for it, hopefully.
I don't think I would intuitively know that.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to say that not only Intuit is doing that, but I ran into so many instances last week where the button was supposed to be there, the link was supposed to be there, and it wasn't. It just wasn't.
Yeah. So all I had to do was click the thing that said take the test, and then it just went into that other browser, and I saw it really quickly say recertification exam, and then it started giving me the exam, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I figured it out now. Thank you very much. So the guy was very nice, though, and he said, please feel free to email me for anything, So I said, you probably don't want to tell me that because I will abuse the privilege.
Right, exactly. You have a real person to talk to. It's
And
lovely.
I have you on my A list. So I will.
Absolutely. My only problem was it was buried in all of those spam mails that I have been getting from Intuit. I have been getting so much spam from people saying that they're Intuit or person services or whatever, that my spam filter is kicking in, and now everything from Intuit is going into spam.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But he was very, very nice. We're getting a little bit of, I don't know who we're getting some backlog from. But anyway, yes, resolved for me, and Tony is great. We love Tony.
He's the man.
He is the man.
So Gina,
ahead.
what did you think of the FreshBooks thing this morning?
Actually, I liked it. At first, when he said this is a one-sided accounting system, I thought this is an oxymoron. You know what I mean? How can one-sided and accounting mean a system? It really, to me, doesn't. So now I understand why FreshBooks connects with Xero or QBO, because you need the rest of that to really do an accounting system.
You really can't do reconciliations in FreshBooks, right? I mean, if they don't have the...
Oh, well, yeah, of course. That just goes to say. And what I want to know is when you enter a mileage expense entry that has not gone through your cash account, how does it sync with QuickBooks or Xero then? How does it know?
Too much automation is no good.
I was curious about the sales tax. I mean, it didn't seem like there was a mechanism to pay the sales tax, or at least...
That's another place that I would not trust FreshBooks. Not that I trust QBO all that much on that either, because I've seen some odd things happening. I create income tax or income accounts, taxable and non-taxable. So I get my information there and try and tie it into what QuickBooks is telling me is taxable versus non-taxable.
Well, like in the state of Washington for sales tax, there's a basic rate for the state, but then each city and county has their own little, and so you have maybe 10 different rates overall. And so in QuickBooks, you can actually identify the county and the rate.
That's the same with
you're talking You're talking QuickBooks Desktop.
Right.
I think QBO is a little bit more simple than that. That if you wanted them to be combined, you have to add all those percentages up.
But I didn't see how you would keep track of your sales tax in FreshBooks.
Hi, Senny. Yes. We can hear you now.
I do not hear you well. Okay.
Did you want to say something?
No. Actually, I cannot hear you well.
You cannot hear us well today? You were the first one in. I thought technology was going to work today. Sorry about that. Okay.
Could you repeat again?
Better. We can hear you good now.
Hey, I also set up today my very first client with QBox.
Oh, nice. How did that go for you?
It was pretty exciting. It was so easy.
Nice. Congratulations.
So I was just like, oh, this is the one of many. Let's get them all on QBox.
Right, exactly.
Sarah moved her posted clients to QBox, I thought.
She said she did, yes.
Yeah, it's because
I'm going to do all of them.
Yeah, because I'm gonna ride desktop until it's dead into the ground. I am not going to that godforsaken place.
With QBO.
QBO.
Now,
That's why I can't do the video for the stupid Firm of the Future thing. Because I don't use QBO. I'm not going to fake it.
I've been saying that, but I think I just made my first POS powered by Rebel sale, and now I'm going to be forced to use QBO. with this particular customer.
Godspeed, Brandon.
How do you like Revel? I've used Revel before. I really like it for restaurants.
Restaurant, it is bomb. This is going to be a QSR. It's going to be a fairly small coffee shop, but in my area, it's really the price is a killer. But this guy is all about it. He just moved from California, so the price is not really an issue for him.
Congratulations. That's
Well, at
awesome.
our Seattle boot camp about a month and a half ago, there was a face-off between QBO and desktop, and overwhelmingly the audience preferred desktop. You know?
And they didn't want to promote that, so they said Intuit
They
wins.
thought it was a tie.
They didn't show the audience raising their hands, you know. Yeah, but I just look back and think, God, it's not even close.
I don't know. It's just not there.
I'm actually still in the middle of quoting it, but we met today, and he's about a 95% sale, but he wants merchant service, payroll, QBO, and Revel, and all packaged together, and all the training, so it's going to be sweet.
Nice, nice. So is your POS going to have the merchant service in it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not actually using the Intuit merchant services?
It is still with Intuit Merchant Service. It still goes through them, but
Okay.
so we'll still get the commission, but it's the payments that goes through the Revel system.
Okay, got it. Got it. Now, Dwayne, I believe it was Dwayne that asked, has anybody used the new QBO Win app? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but nope.
I've used QBO app for
Not,
Mac.
what is it?
And what's nice
Win
about it is I got one last year for a QB Connect, and it came in a flash drive. You download the app, and instead of going through Chrome, you know, when you go to Chrome and sign on to QBOA, it just takes you there. So it's an app that sits on your desktop or on your launcher on your iPad. I mean, on your MacBook, like my MacBook Air or my iMac, and then you press on it, and the icon, and it takes you, and it shows all your clients there that are on there, and I love it. I've used it plenty of times.
Now the QBO on the Window app, the great thing about that differentiate is that you have drop-down menu.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
You have your top menu items back again. Yes. I've been beta testing it for a while, and I really couldn't wait until they released it to the public. It does make working in QuickBooks Online much, much better.
Yeah.
You don't have that whirling circle like you do using the browser. Yay!
So where do
You know who did a good walkthrough of that? I watched the majority of it. Is the QB Power Hour, Hector.
Yes, Hector did.
Hector did a really good walkthrough of that app the other day.
And
So where do
Stacy and Woody did one a little bit on the QB show
Right.
Tuesday night.
So where do you get it off of QBO?
I have it on my page. I'll put the link in for you if you want.
Okay.
Isn't it through the? Don't you have to download it through that the apps thing?
Is that right? Is it on the QBO app?
Yeah, I never downloaded it
Okay,
through
so
the
is
app.
this different than the app that they gave me at QB Connect?
Well, yours is for Mac, mine is for Windows.
It's a Windows one.
Right, right. So I'm liking it. It is the thing that's different for me about it is opening up multiple windows. It's just a different way of doing it. It's not good or bad. It's just different, and I tend to use what I know. So
Yeah.
so it was a little bit of getting used to for me. So. But
Who attended that's Hangout today?
I did.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Missed it.
Was it good, the FreshBooks?
I would have liked more time for Q&A. We kind of went to like about 5 minutes before the end of the hour and then any questions, you know.
right, right.
We got a
And
little, you know, on some of the stuff.
The balance sheet was a very sorry excuse for a balance sheet, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I would have liked more clarification on the accountant's program and also on the
Dwayne,
balance sheet
you're
or
laughing.
lack thereof.
It would be lack thereof. The only thing that it brought over was the accounts receivable number. Every other number you have to enter yourself.
So you couldn't really do a bank reconciliation, it didn't sound like.
Not at all.
Because it doesn't pull in the deposits, it just pulls in the expenses on the bank feed. Yeah.
Dennis, I think you had a question towards the end, and they were getting ready to sign off about if you signed up as an accountant, did you get a free account? I went on their website and looked, and it looks like that may not be the case. It looks like they get the accountant center.
Oh.
Not
But
the actual program?
Yeah, they gave a big demo up in Seattle a month and a half ago in June on that. The founder of the company gave the keynote speech, and I guess they said they had like 10 million. They had an ungodly number of users, but it seems like it's mainly Schedule C. It doesn't sound like if you had employees, it'd be that great a fit either.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne, you're using FreshBooks for your clients.
No, I use Wave.
Oh, Wave was what you said. I thought FreshBooks was what you were using.
FreshBooks sometimes.
No. I'm not interested in that. Every time I try to look at it, I always thought it was just short of, like you said, like missing that whole general ledger piece of it. And
it is, but there are things that could make you want to do it. Although QuickBooks does the same kind of thing, like tracking time and billable expenses, it seems like FreshBooks does it easier and it's more intuitive.
Yeah, I think the only one thing that I saw that might work for some of my clients that they might want to use FreshBooks is the way you can set up the automatic credit card billing.
Right.
People.
I would never want to bring in my expenses from the bank feeds. I would not do that. If I were to support FreshBooks, it would be FreshBooks with Xero or with QBO, and I would do my bank feeds there in the accounting software. Just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Well, I was just concerned about paying the sales tax.
Oh, and I would never do the sales tax out of FreshBooks, period.
Yeah, I would have to see how it would sink into, if it sinks into QuickBooks and do it through QuickBooks or whatever.
Yeah, the only time I like to do, my clients have sales tax, I always go with the desktop version because they give reports, especially if you set it up correctly.
Yeah, I've had so many issues, even with I have a really simple client that has QuickBooks Online, and I hate to say this because it is QuickBooks Online, and I go into his file every once in a while just to check to make sure he's doing things okay, and he's so funny because he's like, why is my sales tax wrong? I just paid it, I just did it, he followed everything inside of the QuickBooks Online, and then all of a sudden the QuickBooks Online adjusts it, and he's like freaking out over like $1.29. I'm like, really? And so he like had to pay me $70 for my 20 minutes of my time to figure out why QuickBooks Online is adjusting for $1.29, and I still can't figure out why. It's just they automatically like make these. The answer is go to QuickBooks Desktop and use Toolbox. That's my answer for everything.
Well, it's an undocumented feature.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's just to adjust. It's an undocumented feature to have me get to bill my clients an extra $70 for.
Well, the other solution is you could use Avalara.
Yeah, they don't need to use Avalara though. They literally, he's like in New York State. He has one county he does sales tax in. He does not need Avalara. He mows lawns is about all he does. It's like, like I said, it's just irritating. Like it's something like that on desktop, there would be no adjustment. There's no need for rounding or anything. It ties out. And
it does
for some reason inside of QBO, they decide that they need to adjust it for some reason. like makes no sense. And he's like, I just paid it based upon the reports last month, and now they're adjusting it. I'm like,
Oh, see, you should never do that. Just pay it according to the reports.
yeah, he should never pay attention to his accounting software because it's always wrong. that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
I do have a
Am I the only one that feels this pain?
no, not at all.
Let's see a sign of hands. I want hands up if you feel the pain.
Feel the pain.
Yvette, I can't see your pain.
Well, I got it up.
Okay.
Hey, here's Nancy. We haven't seen Nancy for a while.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey, Nan.
Hi guys, how are
Thank
you?
Dwayne.
Good.
How you been?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Busy.
Nice.
Busy.
So you're not
So
retired.
busy.
So what's happening that you're busy?
Well, it's summer. It's
And the outdoors are calling. Yes.
Well, yes, the outdoors is calling. The garden is calling.
Max is romping around saying, come play with me outside.
Yep, outside, Mom. Mom, no. I just want to go to work in the morning, get my cookie, and then I want to go outside. Lots and lots of certified payroll changes, so we've been busy coding and testing and debugging and documenting, and of course,
Wow.
the old beta testing.
Right. We have some weird feedback happening here. Is anyone else hearing it? Strange sounds?
To me, it sounds like it's the Kraken.
Or it sounds like we're in a spaceship or something.
Somebody, I think Dwayne released the Kraken is what it is.
I think it's me. They're drilling. It is. They're my remodeling. It's major construction in my house, so I better mute myself.
I was going to say, it's all quiet here. Ben took Max out back into the woods.
But we were discussing the new Win app for QBO and also sales tax on QBO.
All right, somebody's calling.
I think it's Misha. She wants to get in.
Okay. I think we're full. I think we've been full. So there's a couple people.
I
Yeah.
think it was Brandon, right?
Well, Misha wants to come in, and Tim Hughes, and we haven't seen him for a while.
Tim.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna go out and watch online.
No,
Larry.
you don't have to do that, Larry.
Yeah,
I can
feel
too.
bad.
Because, I
haven't
just
seen him.
We're happy to see you. Don't go away, Nancy, please.
Yeah, don't.
I feel so loved.
Great to meet you, Nancy. Are you still crocheting or knitting?
Crocheting. Oh, I have something beautiful that I'm close to being done with. This, let's see. Can you see?
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
This is called the Virus, VIRUS shawl. I'm not sure why they called it that. I can crochet anything if I have a written pattern, but doing it from charts visually is really hard for me because like all of those little symbols like all run together.
Right.
So this is like one of my bigger things that I have done from a chart, and it's done in Red Heart Unforgettable in a colorway called Echo. And it's beautiful greens and purples and rose, and it's so soft.
It looks beautiful too.
It really is. It's just absolutely lovely.
Nice.
But yes, I've been doing a lot of crocheting. Haven't gotten a lot of stuff up on the Fanciful Things website because, like everybody else, I'm fighting with sales tax.
Oh no.
So
So you do your sales tax in QuickBooks Desktop, I'm assuming.
yes, and Vermont, hell yes. Vermont's really weird. Um, Anything that's sold out of state is tax exempt.
Right.
Okay, anything for clothing, so like the shawl, that's sold in Vermont is tax exempt. But if I sell a toy to somebody in Vermont, there's sales tax. And if they're in about any one of a dozen towns that are considered, well, I call them gold towns, there's an additional 1% sales tax on it. So, and I'm also like new to using WooCommerce, and oh my God, I really like it, but I haven't figured out how. So I'm using WooCommerce and PayPal, and I really haven't figured out how to go in and make that whole thing work.
Knock, knock. Hello, Roxanne. Have you talked to Roxanne Brown about it?
Well, yes, I have, but she's been on vacation for like the last month.
Oh, good for her.
And once she gets squared away, her and I will do a remote, and we will beat the crap out of it. And in the meantime, it's just like I'm tired of doing website stuff. We updated the Sunburst main site from one version of Joomla to another. Now, the instructions looked really simple, and it looked like something I could do myself, but I said to Ben, I ain't touching this. I am not. So we hired somebody. Well, actually, before that, I installed. Our website was attacked.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It was being attacked from Middle East and South America. And
now, why would they be interested in certified payroll?
Well,
cut us some break here.
It's because we have a big website and we look like we're much bigger than we are. Okay. Plus the fact that, we'd had the same hosting provider for like 13 years. And when we initially went with him, he did have all of his own servers, and they were his. Well, it got to a point where he needed to replace servers, and they were so expensive, he just said, to heck with it. He did his research, and he leased servers from this other company.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, and everything was fine for 12 and a half years. All of a sudden, the other company sold out to a bigger company, and everything just went down the tubes. There were days that I couldn't get to the website. I couldn't get into the front end. I couldn't get into the back end. I was being blocked.
Oh, how disappointing is that?
And, and I'm like, I am madder than 6 wet hens at this man.
Oh, I know that feeling. That's when I go and pick up little Rocky's leash and we go for a walk.
And, it's like, things are hard for everybody everywhere, and he's got 2 kids in college, and website hosting here in Vermont has kind of like gone down the tube, so he had to go out and get a real job. So here I am during the day. I can't get to the site, and that's kind of okay because other people can. It just means I can't get in and do any updates, but that's okay. So it's like I have to wait for him at night, and even though he knows better and knows that in reality I only know about enough of this stuff to be really dangerous, and that when it comes to all the technical language, forget it. I'm better than it doesn't work, but yeah, you know, at the same point, it's like I am not good at all of that lingo, and you know, so I'm telling him, hey, look, you know, I'm trying to get into the site, I can't. I'm getting, you know, that either the server's not available or whatever. I'm getting all of these messages, and here they are. You know, here's my IP address. Make sure I'm not getting blocked. Blah blah blah. And you know, and then it's like the next day before I hear back from him, and it's something cryptic that makes me just sit there and say, WTF? You know,
Who's that? Just kidding. I'm just kidding, Nancy.
Because they do speak a different language than the other people. But you know, I kind of feel like that as like working with accountants and my clients. I feel like the clients talking to accountants or accountants talking to clients are the same. It's like, you know, there's an interpretation thing. And words don't mean the same. Like when I'm talking to a web developer and I talk themes, I'm talking color palettes. They're talking, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's not what a developer means by a theme. So we're talking apples and oranges, and I understand entirely what you mean when you say, what did he just say?
Yeah. You know, so I'd get Ben involved, and he'd get cranky because I was trying to pull him in, you know, the middle of all this, and he's like, well, I don't know what the F he means, you know, what the hell did you ask him? And it's like, read my freaking email. So that was, I mean, when I got nasty enough, that was when he really started digging, and that was when he discovered that, you know, the company that he had leased from had been bought by somebody else.
He didn't know that?
No, he didn't. They never told him. You know, and then it was, you know, first Russia was hacking our site, or trying to hack our site or our servers. And, you know, I mean, we were just constantly putting out fires. And we thought we got it all straightened around, and I had a plugin that I had to upgrade. And, oh, man, did that blow up. Absolutely blew up. And because the server was under so much stress, it would just kick me out. It would just totally shut down.
Whether you were in the middle of something or not.
Yeah, no warning.
Doom.
And so
5 hours worth of work, doom.
Oh my God, or a day's worth. So finally got that straightened around, and he finally figured all this out. And I said to him, you know, I just can't freaking do this anymore. And he's like, I totally understand. Matter of fact, I'm not so sure I'm going to do this anymore. And this is who I would recommend that you go with for a new hosting provider. So we went with this company called Green Geeks. Everything is 100% solar powered.
Wow.
Which I think is really cool. And so we get the site over to Green Geeks, and then it's like, I have to do this major software upgrade. No, I ain't doing it. So I hired this company. And boy, am I really glad that I did, because it was a mess. And really that didn't get straightened out until just before 4th of July, and it dragged on for like 2 months. I mean, the whole icky caca mess like dragged on for 2 months. So I like lost 2 months, because I mean I was back to working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Oh no, and you were retired.
Well, no, retiring. Semi-retired. Not working as much.
Okay.
Not working as much.
Only 70 hours instead of 80 hours?
No, actually, you guys would have been totally proud of me. I worked 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Nice.
I mean, I never thought I could do it. Let me tell you, I'm looking to get rid of the other 20 hours a week some of these days soon. I just I enjoy having all of that time to do what I want to do out in the yard. So I mean, I just got that done and squared away, and did the big sigh of relief just before 4th of July. Then California came out with, and here, James, is your answer to yes, things have changed in California. They now have a new eCPR, electronic sped payroll, uploaded in an XML file. The instructions on DIR website is just absolutely hysterical. They give you an empty XML file and they tell you, oh, fill it out by hand every week.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, there are so many people that can't fill out a paper form. How in the name of God is anybody gonna do XML? Now XML is like is a component or a piece or very similar to HTML, like you would hard code a website. So you've got all of these things in brackets, and then there's a space between. There's an opening bracket and then there's a closing bracket. And the little space in between is where you're supposed to go put the data that they want to see. So we got their specs off their website, and we got that out the door, 10th of June, actually. And man, I have talked to literally hundreds of people who have been using the built-in QuickBooks alternate certified payroll report, who have spent 4 hours on the phone with Intuit because Intuit said that they could take that Excel spreadsheet and turn it into XML, only after 4 hours to finally admit, oh, well, we really can't do this. So, again, people are absolutely furious at Intuit, and expecting Intuit to be able to do everything. Now, this electronic upload makes for probably, I think it's close to 24 different electronic upload formats now.
Wow.
Okay, and I will tell you, each one of them are so different. You look at the XML for the eCPR, and you look at the XML that Elation Systems wants, which is an online labor compliance company. Those two things are like apples and oranges. I mean, everybody is totally different.
Wow.
And everybody expects Intuit to do it, and I will tell you, it is not easy. It is not easy. I mean, Ben and I just kind of groan. Anytime somebody comes out with a new electronic format, some of them want CSV files, some of them want text files, some of them want XML. Some want an Excel spreadsheet, but not an Excel spreadsheet like any of us would ever recognize as being an Excel spreadsheet. And the data that they want, less than half of it comes from QuickBooks.
Oh my gosh! So you're there filling it out by hand, for half of the stuff that you need.
Yep.
That's insane.
And
That is
that's
crazy. It's got to stop. I mean, really.
and that's really where our software shines, because anything that QuickBooks doesn't hold, we keep in a linked record. So you enter all of those little missing pieces once on a job-by-job basis. You know, you preview the report, you print a copy for yourself in paper in the format that you're always used to seeing it in, so that you can verify it. And in the background, the program has already created this file. All you have to do is go to DIR website
And upload it.
upload it, you know, and I mean, or go to LCP Tracker and upload it, or go to, you know, Elation Systems or the MyLCM, or the new one that's coming down the pike is AASHTO, American Association of Highway Transportation Officials, and some other good God gobbledygook, and basically it's DOT.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't we say you're fired?
Huh?
like Trump does, you're fired.
Yeah. And what it is, this organization, they developed a software program, labor compliance. Every state can have something different. Every state DOT can have something different. Virginia DOT is like the newest one that's come on board with it. They have 10 different races. Okay? And they're incredibly specific, and they have to be set up in just the way that Virginia DOT wants them. Now, you know, they want to know if you're Asian. It used to be races were like Asian Pacific Islander, Hawaiian, Alaskan Native, you know, your normal black, white, Hispanic, blah, blah.
How about for your combo?
Well, that's just it. Okay, now they want to know if you're Asian, this part of Asia, Asia plus this, Asia plus that. There's like 6 different Asian races, and it's like...
Well, no, I mean, like my daughter would be Chinese American. I mean, my wife's Chinese, and my daughter's, you know, and I'm Caucasian, so she like Chinese Caucasian, or she Caucasian Chinese?
Well, it would depend on how Virginia DOT wanted to see that.
And Senny, what would you be?
You're Chinese. Father
Okay.
and mother Chinese, but
Okay.
living in Indonesia.
You know, and I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, Paper Reduction Act. My great Aunt Fanny's Fanny. You know.
But these are things that we do have to deal with, and it is for sure something that is never going to be dealt with by QBO. This is always going to have to be QuickBooks Desktop to get that type of detailed information.
Absolutely. You know, and I can't tell you how many contractors in California using QBO have called us up and wanted it. And it's like, I can't give it to you. Well, why not? What do you mean? You do it for the desktop? Well, call into it and ask them why they haven't put in all the functionality of the desktop into QBO, and then call me back.
Yeah, I can't see somebody writing an app for that, because it'd be so, the demand wouldn't be there, I wouldn't think.
Be so specific in such a small niche.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be-
Not only that, really the data's not in QBO. You know, because payroll data is disconnected.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
in
Right.
desktop, you've got the enhanced, or you've got assisted, and it's there in all of that level of detail that you need, and it's all part of your accounting data. you know, I mean, the way I see it, what, QBO's been around for how long now?
15 years, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and in that amount of time, none of that real hardcore data has been put into QBO, plus the fact that whatever they're writing the apps with these days on the developer side, you can't get it. I mean, obviously you can't get the data if it's not there. So, you know, we will be desktop until the day we die or it dies.
You and Joanne. Joanne's left us. She's a diehard desktop. I don't see the desktop going anywhere.
No, I'm here. I'm laughing my head off, and I'm just keeping.
How dare you laugh? If you're going to laugh, don't you dare mute yourself.
Well, do you think
I am QB desktop till it dies.
Do you think there'll come a point where they just won't they'll stop adding new features to desktop?
When that happens, I will retire. Plain as day.
There you go.
It's on YouTube now.
I feel the same way. You know, if desktop goes away,
I will go work for Barnes and Noble and sell ebooks.
Oh, come to Vermont, I'll teach you how to hook. I mean crochet.
Okay. Well, teach me how to hook. Girl, I already know how to do that.
This kind of hooking.
Oh no! I'm gonna go on The Voice.
Oh, there you go.
You know, it's.
I can't sing, but I'm gonna go on The Voice anyways.
There you go.
I don't think they're going to get rid of the desktop.
No, I don't think they are either. I am beta testing the 2016. I don't see as many improvements as that there have been as in the past, but they are still making improvements.
Well, there wasn't many improvements last year except for the enterprise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I agree with you, Gina, because I'm beta testing too.
And so, what do you think? I mean, with what you're allowed to say.
I just wish they'd clean up old stuff. You know, I mean, I really do. I wish they'd clean up old stuff. I don't see. I don't see a lot.
Isn't there kind of like a limit as to what you can do with the database? I mean, in terms of expanding it.
Well, how much more can you expand it, though? I mean, like Nancy said, there is stuff that's good in the desktop, but it could be cleaned up.
You know, it could work better. Mm-hmm. You know, they could get rid of bugs that have been like hanging around for
10 years.
Well, yeah, umpteen anyway. You know, I mean, but how much can somebody expand on a database? Let me tell you, Ben and I do it every time something new comes down the pike. We did it for the new eCPR. Alaska just started using LCP Tracker, so that meant a whole bunch of new stuff for Alaska, because they have odd reporting requirements. AASHTO for Virginia DOT, that was a major thing, because Virginia DOT has always just been plain old vanilla WH347 form.
Has anybody looked at the QuickBooks website lately? I did a presentation last week on cloud accounting, comparing QBO and Xero and other things like Smartsheet and Zoho. And if you look at the QuickBooks desktop or website, you'd be hard pressed to find, unless you were an accountant, even realizing they had a desktop product.
You have to scroll all the way to the bottom of whatever page you are on, and then there it is, like presto changeo.
Well, on the accountants tab, you know, but if you're it has it. But if you're just a regular business person looking for an accounting software program, I mean, you wouldn't really. It doesn't jump out at you that there's a desktop.
I had somebody call me the other day, and they're coming from. I want to say they're coming from Timberline. They called Intuit. They wanted Enterprise. No, they wanted Premier because they haven't even been using everything in Timberline. The guy was insistent that to sell them QBO, and the guy was like, "I don't want QBO.
Oh my goodness, that's so not a good fit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even to go to Premier as opposed to Enterprise is not a good fit from Timberline.
Well, you know, the analogy I make is that Intuit's like someone trying to ride two horses. One horse is going north, the other one's going northwest, and it seems like at some point you have to make a choice. You know, I just don't see how they can keep diverting resources and trying to, you know, support two. I mean, they're almost mutually exclusive. I mean, if QuickBooks Desktop thrives, then that's going to take away from QBO and vice versa, it would seem to me.
They all need to live together. You know, I mean, it's like the flipping government. Oh, okay, we won't start on that conversation.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, there's three, in my mind, there's three very distinct pieces of Intuit. There's Pro and Premier, okay, for your entry level. There's Enterprise, and there's QBO. All three of them play a major piece in Intuit's accounting. For them to promote one exclusive of the others, in my opinion, is really stupid.
Well,
it doesn't do anyone a service.
It seems
no, it doesn't.
It seems the problem with Intuit is that they're competing with like a Xero and others that are strictly focused on the cloud. And so, to me, Xero is a better product than QBO because they've got the sole focus on the cloud. And so, here's Intuit trying to divide resources and sort of work on the cloud and sort of work on the desktop, whereas competitors like Xero and maybe Cashew and maybe, you know, that are focusing solely on the cloud.
Okay, but let me put this another way. Let's say you have 3 kids. Are you going to make one of them your absolute positive favorite and totally ignore the other 2?
Absolutely.
No.
Depends.
Wait a minute.
Well, I guess it depends on the kids, but anyway.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I had myself unmuted. Again, I thought I was talking to myself.
See, I have not changed. I may not have been around for a while, and I may not come around for another 6 months.
You're right. They are 3 different animals. They should have 3 different departments, and each one of them have their primary focus, and allow all of them marketing.
Split the company.
If they ever get rid of the desktop, they're going to shoot themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be their bread and butter for a long, long time. For the bigger companies, you just can't do QBO. I don't care if they say that you can do everything with apps. I really don't see it. You're laughing.
And that's why I kind of have a big issue with this whole campaign that they're doing with this Firm of the Future thing, because.
Did anybody try out for the Firm of the Future?
No, because I can't fake myself and say that I use QuickBooks Online. I would be glad to show them how I use QuickBooks Desktop and how I use all my other online apps to help, but it's just not there yet for me to push all my clients to. You know, like Dennis said, there's certain situations where Xero might be a better option or the desktop's a better option.
Yeah, well, the
Seems
problem
like
is
the marketing department is running into it now.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm not doing it. I
Well,
have a big problem with them calling that the firm of the future, just because it's
the problem is
online.
that by pushing people to the cloud, I mean, QBO's not necessarily the best choice if you're going to the cloud, in my
No.
opinion. And that's the danger, is that you push all your people to the cloud and say, well, this QBO kind of sucks. I think I like Xero better,
Yep.
Well, the big danger is recommending a product that does not fit the client.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to put a square peg in a round hole at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you end up with egg on your face.
Yeah.
Well, sales departments are always lying,
Right,
I know
exactly.
when I was in the corporate, when we get these software people come out and demo stuff, and then it would never work exactly the way the salespeople said it would,
Oh, you want to hear a funny story before we go? This is a really good one. You guys will appreciate this. So you know how I was off camping last weekend, right?
Right.
So Friday, which I was still away, it was Friday afternoon, I get a phone call, and I didn't recognize the call. It was from California. I thought it was from California, so I picked up the phone, and it's so-and-so. I can't remember her name. Oh, and guess what? She's my account advisor. She's my account person for QuickBooks Online. I said, oh, it's so wonderful to finally speak to you. I mean, I was just like they have no idea who they're talking to right now. She's like, we want to offer you all this training and to do this and that and everything. I said, really? I said, I think I pretty much know QuickBooks Online. I said, but this is the issues that I'm having. And I went through, I did not shut up for like 20 minutes. I was going on about the problems that I had with QuickBooks. I go, so that is why I will be using your desktop product until you discontinue it, and then I'll have to find another option. She was like,
why did I call
yeah,
this
she
number?
was like, well, thank you so much for your time. So I'm probably flagged in the Intuit system.
Yeah, fire the person that gave me this number to call.
Yeah, but you know what? But that's the whole thing, is that, and I can't remember who was just talking about this now. I think it was Dennis that was saying that the desktop does not show up anywhere on their website right away, and I just think it's such a disservice, because the desktop is such an amazing product. That is their flagship product, and why are you pushing it down to the bottom when this other product just is not there yet?
Well, not only that, what's that going to do to your Pro Advisor program? You keep devaluing the program. I mean, eventually they're trying to start charging for the Intuit Online Pro Advisor. I would think they'd have to if people say, this isn't worth.
I don't know, Dennis. I mean, I think that the accountants are the people, or the bookkeepers are the people that are telling their clients what products to use. Just like Yvette said earlier today, she had someone call her up and ask her to do bookkeeping. What product should we use?
Yep.
So I don't see the Intuit people kicking the Pro Advisors off of the online version. They can't at this point.
No, I'm talking
then
about
they would really have a dead product.
Why would you keep paying $550, $600 a year for the desktop if it keeps going down and value?
Oh, for the Pro Advisor.
Exactly.
The Pro Advisor program.
Why would I keep paying that if they're devaluing it? And what's Intuit going to do when they start losing all these Pro Advisors because people want to pay $550 for something?
Right. Well, I will say that the $550 that you pay is still worth it because of the software that you get.
Yeah, they give you software that nobody else can even find how to get it online.
Right. Well, the Enterprise.
Yeah. Well,
you cannot get a single user version of Enterprise anywhere.
Yeah, I don't even have anybody in Enterprise, but yeah,
for me,
that is an expensive one, that's for sure.
Well, plus for me, I get 5 free copies or 5 tax returns for the 1040 and 2 business returns, so that's worth probably a couple $100, So it's as a Pro Advisor, so that's a benefit.
Right. Until you decide you don't want to support Intuit anymore, then it's not worth it.
Unless Xero comes out with a tax software program, then I might just think about switching.
Come to Drake, Dennis. Come to Drake.
I've heard good things about Drake.
I love Drake.
Alrighty, wow, we are about out of time again. Our hour goes so fast. It's unbelievable. It's a great time. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. If there's anyone that wants to stay after, we'll be having a little hangout after our live broadcast. So hang on a second. Everyone else, we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.